All right, guys, we are live for the 104th Red Room. Let me center myself on the camera here since we're three in a row. Some little updates. So the Phoenix RIA does not run an August event. Kids going back to school. Everybody's finishing up their travel. Just not a whole lot going on. Everybody's prepping for college, high school, grade school, whatever the stuff is, right? How many are your kids back in school, Luke? Like they all start back up this week, or
2 out of 4?
two out of four? Okay,
2 or 4 in. So.
But inventory still kind of bopping around that 23,500 mark. I was looking at that chart from the Cromford report, and do you know that 2022 is obviously the highest price per square foot, and we just passed that again. Like if you watch the chart, it's like 2022, and then it dips a little bit, and we're right back up at the 2022 as a price per square foot, which I thought was kind of interesting. So everybody's like, prices are coming down. Well, according to that, not really. And if you look over, like obviously 2022 was it slowed down, but we had a record start with January, February, March. Obviously, interest rates were still low.
Right.
But if you go 2023, 2024, and now, like we're not too far off. We're like, I don't know if you've looked at it, Tracy. It's not that far off. I mean, I think it was within a percent or two, like volume of sales in 2024 to 2025. Like, I don't know. I think we kind of expected it in 2024. After the election, we thought 2025 was going to be like, hey, let's go. We're back. We're ready to go. And clearly it wasn't. But it wasn't too far off the 2024 numbers.
Great.
What?
It was great.
For who?
For who?
Yeah.
So today we get the great opportunity to see the better half of Luke, right? So we always see Luke every week, but this week we get to see the better half of Luke, and we're talking about staging, which is an important part. And I think Tracy, she's our design expert here on the show. I'm not the design expert on any part of this show or any show. So today we're talking about staging, and I thought it might be good. Like, hey, at what level do you stage? Like, is there a price point that you say stage or don't stage, or is it just the level of design work? Or I'm gonna defer to all you guys on this. But Sage, how long you been running the staging company?
So we've staged our properties for years.
Yeah.
And then I think everyone just kind of assumed I staged and I designed anyways. So people would ask all the time, like, can she come to our house? And at the time, just because all of our little children and stuff, I said, I would say no most of the time just because I was already so busy. But then why aren't we doing this? Everyone thinks we do it anyways. So officially Sage Living in Design is what my company is called. Started about 6 months ago, even though we've been doing it for years. So
yeah.
Yep.
So
the time kind of came where it was like, I was saying, the amount of people that were reaching out just saying like, hey, could stage my house, and I'm like, God, we don't actually do that. Why are we not doing that? It's so ridiculous, because it's like exactly what you said. We had staging furniture, we had stuff, for our own projects, and it's like, there's a lot of money to be made in staging. I remember when before we had staged our own properties through Viking, we had hired a staging company to do our own. And I remember the first time that we paid the staging, we're like, man, I don't know, this is expensive. You know what I mean? It's another expense that you're not expecting, but then you pay it, and then the house goes under contract immediately, and you're like, okay, it's worth it. There's no question about it.
Worth it, for sure.
So I'll love to piggyback off of what they're saying. So I'll stage at any price point. I think even for first-time home buyers, any budget deserves some good design. And what I did to mitigate some of those costs was make relationships with furniture rental companies, and then I use all my own decor. and being able to save a little bit of cost there, but I'll still do vignettes around the house. Like I won't stage every single bit, but I think it really makes a difference. And I've always done that regardless of how the market's doing. But Sage, I'd love to ask on your end. I mean, do you think part of that uptick in people asking is realtors and homeowners realizing they have to actually put effort into this instead of just sticking it on the market and hoping that someone will fall in love with it as is? What do you think about that?
I think with obviously how the market has been, I think even more so, it's so important for every showing to truly count. So when a buyer walks in, it's making sure that the house looks gorgeous. And how I describe it to whether it's a flipper or seller or whoever it is even though they don't get to keep the furniture and they should know like, well, this doesn't come with the house. It's not really about that. It's about them walking into a house and getting the feeling of, oh my goodness, this is so gorgeous. I can see myself here, and then when they leave with that feeling of like, oh, I remember when I went to that house, that's the house I loved. That's what's going to sell the house is someone coming in and actually being like, I can see myself here. This is exactly how I would design it. Oh, I love how they did that. And again, just making that buyer walk in and that showing just go amazing. And again, every showing counts right now because they're going to all these different houses and they're getting the pick of the litter. So just making sure, it's they walk in and they just absolutely fall in love with it.
That's such a good point to make because you want to make it almost experiential. And that's a lot of what I talk about in Flip School too, is like having a go-to-market strategy. And if that does not include having furniture and staging and design and all the things like when you walk into a model home, my question is like, why would you stop your job there as a remodeler, as a rehabber, which you guys are, neck deep in as well? I believe like it doesn't really, your job does not stop until the wire hits your account. And that should include staging, and you just need to bake that in. Where some people might argue, well, like I've done a great job on the rehab and I don't want to pay for staging. So what do you normally tell people if they're thinking like, I don't need to stage, I did a really good job on the remodel?
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously at the end of the day, most people that are flipper, right, they're very budget. Everything is numbers wise, right? So it's just, basically describing that like it right now. And I think a lot of people are getting it. They're starting to understand that I just gotta throw, because what I'm seeing a lot right now is actually people backtracking and so their house isn't selling. So what we'll do is completely rebrand it. So they'll take it off the market. So this prime example, a couple months ago, I had and especially very unique houses, right? Because these unique houses that have little quirks and stuff, like you have to make an experience out of it and make the buyer understand what you're trying to relay to them. So this house was a mid-century modern house in Phoenix. And it was a charming house, but with no furniture, it just looked really dated. But the style was there. We just had to like bring it to life. So bringing in the actual pieces to make it mid-century modern and make someone walk in and be like, ooh, this is so trendy. This is so cool. It was on the market for almost 200 days. We took it off the market. We staged it, got remarketing, re-photos, went live. The very first showing, it went under contract after being on for 200 days. So we're seeing a lot of that, people taking it off, coming in, doing a redesign, relisting. That's what we're doing right now with this large one, this $3 million. We're just kind of revamping the listing and kind of making it a more of a special experience for the buyers. But I think something that why I decided to get into this space is because there are a lot of staging companies, and being a buyer's agent too, when you walk into a house, you are like, sometimes when you walk in, you're like, this staging furniture is awful. Like, I would have rather like not, like, that doesn't even make sense. Why is it there? Why is like, they take the furniture out at that point. Like, if it's that terrible. So I wanted to make it's not necessarily like I am dropping in just sets everywhere. Like, it is truly an experience of, I am hand selecting everything. And it takes more time. It costs more money. It's all that thing. But again, I want the buyer to walk in and be like, is this staged or is this like just really cool furniture? Like, them kind of like not know that, oh wow, this place is clearly just like picked up and dropped in the furniture.
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm specializing in, more of like the custom staging.
So I've seen that too when you walk in listings, and it's almost like the agent went to the closest Goodwill and picked out like literally they have like the old dusty tree sitting in the corner. They have like the Tuscan clock. They have like chickens on the counter. They have different soap dispensers. And I'm like, you really thought you ate with this? Like, just don't do anything. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, talk about the opposite of like when, sorry to the agents that are listening, like you shouldn't be doing that if that's not your lane. Like not everyone has a design eye, and maybe they're trying to be helpful by bringing something in. But how do you approach listings where, you know, the agents are like putting in, you know, garage sale type stuff?
Yeah. Well, luckily most of the clients that I've worked with, they're either flippers themselves, and so they truly just trust that you trust the process, trust us, trust me. So they're very hands off, and they're just like, you know, do your thing, like, and that's amazing. And then obviously you get the more of the homeowners that they want to be really involved in. Oh, I want to keep this furniture piece, and I'm like, no, like I won't even do that. I won't stage a house that isn't completely empty, and you can't keep some of your furniture there, just because it just gets really sticky with, you know, what if it gets damaged or, you know, whatnot, or it just doesn't go, or it's, so oftentimes I'll get calls or consultations where they're like, well, I only need 4 bar stools and a table, and, you know, I want to keep all the rest of my stuff, and I at that point it's just talking them to saying, okay, listen, let's get a realistic game plan on how you want to sell your house. Like, are you serious about selling? Let's go ahead and move it into storage. Then, you know, get the place completely ready to go. Get your repairs done that you need to get done. And then we'll come in with the gorgeous staging stuff and make it look, you know, beautiful. And again, like that whole experience thing. So it's really just making sure they understand like where the market is right now. And if they want to sell their house, especially quicker, these are just steps that you have to do right now to get it done.
Right.
Are there some must areas that you have to stage, like kitchen, dining room, living room, but then you leave the bedrooms, or do we even must stage the master bedroom, or what does that look like?
It is, for me personally, it just depends on each house. So I always do living, dining, kitchen, and bathrooms. And then add-ons would be like if you have like a really unique like backyard, maybe some patio furniture just to bring it to life, like whatever is either a sore spot at your house, I would suggest staging, or to accentuate. So for instance, there's a specific master that in my opinion is a little bit small for the level of house it should be. So I said we need to stage the master.
Uh-oh, he's got a call coming in.
Yeah,
That call.
Like, it's a little undersized, or, you know, whatever it is. So it really depends too, like if there's a specific part of the house that we need people to understand better what it could actually look like. But always the living, dining, and kitchen area, bathrooms I always do just because they're fun and they're cute. And then master, most likely, if it's definitely I mean, a lot of these smaller like flip projects, we don't do the masters. It just doesn't really make sense financially because it is an upcharge if we do the master. But when you're getting into the, you know, million plus, I would do the master, especially if it's a you know, kind of a different situation where you want someone to like envision themselves living in there. So that's my kind of rule of thumb. And then, yeah, like I said, like sometimes, a lot of times, like these backyards, like sometimes the backyards are absolutely amazing, and that's what's going to sell your house, the backyard. So let's go ahead and like make it be like, oh, like, wow, bring in all the furniture and stuff. So people are like, you know, we are backyard people. So we're going to fall in love with the backyard and buy that house off the backyard, and then be like, the inside we can figure out later. Yeah. So there's certain people like that. And if you have something really unique, like the lake or the cool pool or something, let's accentuate that. So that's kind of our thing.
If
it's really
if anyone's wondering why we're just sitting in a car right now, it's because we literally just did the preliminary walk on a big house that we're staging, and so that's why we're in the car. We literally finished it up. We're gonna go back and kind of start picking out all the furniture. Or she's gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go pick it up. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at right now.
He does the heavy lifting.
There you go. Is that why you never wear sleeves, Luke? Is that why
Exactly. You know, if I have sleeves, then I mean, in this 115 degree weather, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, of course, you want to get crazy busy in the heat of summer, don't
I know.
you?
I do feel bad about that, but
Not bad enough.
Yeah.
Not bad enough to where you're not going to take more jobs. So on that note, what's the process of people deciding what needs to be staged, bringing in a company like yours to give them feedback, and then landing on which spaces, how long, how much to account for?
So so typically people, when you reach out, you'll just reach out to me, and then I can usually get you a pretty good ballpark number with a video walkthrough and based off your square footage and pictures. But certain more unique properties, I would, and depending on where it's located, I can just meet you over there, kind of walk the space with you, walk you through everything. And then really pricing just depends. My minimum is about 2,500, just because there's a lot that goes into it, and you know, there's a good amount, so it doesn't really make sense, like I said, for me to just do a couple small pieces here and there. And then it goes all the way up to, you know, a lot, you know, up to 20,000 depending on the job or more. But yeah, so then after that, I'll go ahead and put down a proposal, so an official contract with all the areas that we agreed upon staging, and then install day. And then once that's signed and the deposit is paid, then usually we can get you on the schedule, depending on within the next week or two. And it's funny because most of my clients are flippers, so everything is quick. So they'll give me a call, and it's like, so if you ever look at my Instagram, it's always like, I'm on a rush staging job. They all seem like rush staging, and they're always flippers that are like, I need this on, they call me, I'm not kidding, on Tuesday. This on the market by Friday. Photos are Friday morning, Thursday night. What can you do? So that's why Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are always like rushes. But I love it, and it's fun to just get them knocked out real quick. But I would love a couple weeks at least to get things organized. But that's kind of the process of what I do.
That's not how flippers work.
That's not how I'm like. I would like a couple weeks too, but we just
flippers don't plan things out.
Yeah. Well, we try. We try. Yeah.
So on like the 2,500, that's kind of the initial staging, and then is there like a monthly after that, or how does that work?
Yeah. So the phone.
You guys are we losing freezing up,
guys, or no?
You're frozen.
Are we freezing up?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Now you're okay.
Okay. So I think I heard the question correctly. So yeah, it would be 2,500 is kind of the base. It typically, again, it all depends on how many projects you do, the relationship. Like, there's a lot of factors, right? It's typically that 2,500 would be for 2 to 3 months per our contract, what we negotiated, and then it's a base pay after that. So whether it's depending on the contract amount. It would be, you know, anywhere from, you know, 500 to 1,000, maybe 2,000 a month after that per month. So, so say it's a 3-month contract for that initial fee, then it goes to month. So if you decide to pull it, say it's just sitting and you decide, you know, you don't want to continue, you can take it off. And then, so it just goes to month after that until it either gets sold or you want to take the furniture out. So that's our structure. Yeah. So
I'll ask a really funny question. I have had, and I know you've been doing this for yourselves for years, and then also for yourself for other people for about 6 months. So you probably had something like this happen. I have had like the weirdest stuff stolen. Like I had this Magnolia cookbook that was sitting out at a property, and I like no specific, it wasn't some little trinket because it had the nice little stand, and that's when she had just came out with her cookbook, you know, and I bought it brand new. It's like this, it seems like the stupidest thing to remember because it's not a big ticket item. And then I've also had buyer's agents that insist on like the staging is being taken out, say there's a few things that are left over, and then they're like, no, this comes with the property. And I'm like, in
Oh.
what world? It's not affixed, it's not this. And then
Yeah.
they'll say things like, you need to come get it today or it's staying with the property. Like it's
Oh,
bizarre.
God.
That
Have
is
you,
crazy.
what
Yeah.
weird things have happened with your
Well,
staging yet?
So we haven't had anything like where they think it's
Yeah.
like theirs, like it shouldn't be included. But I will say, not in a little off topic, but Airbnb wise, we get the weirdest stuff stolen.
Okay.
Like, all the time. So things that like are weird like that I think people will be like, they won't notice, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's small enough, like they're not gonna notice, but yeah, they're just
Like you
so
said, like
weird.
a cookbook.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? Like, we've
Yeah.
had pillows taken a lot. For some reason, pillows and blankets all the time. What else? Just like weird, like pictures before. Just
But no, stage wise, nothing.
coffee cups all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Coffee, unless they break them all the time, but they're always gone.
Yeah, coffee mugs a lot. But no, stage wise, nothing really crazy yet. But we have had, which is pretty cool, because this is exactly what you want. We've had probably 3 or 4, people who bought from their flipper.
I was gonna ask.
That we staged for that have literally said we want to buy all the furniture.
Yeah.
But they were kind of mainly at the like when we had first kind of gotten started. And at the start, we had basically told everyone we're not selling any furniture because we
replace
need this.
it is annoying.
Just the time and energy that it takes to go re-find all of that furniture again. Because I mean, like Sage said, like she picks unique, cool pieces. Like it's not just like what you find at home and stuff like that. And no, that's not a dig at home. I'm just saying it's very kind of basic, plain stuff. Where it's like when you have cool, unique pieces that you found on Facebook Marketplace or you spent good money on, that it's like hard to replace those. So we've turned everyone down so far that's asked to
except
buy
for
the
cabin, we included all that staging furniture.
We did include our staging furniture on the on an Airbnb sale, basically. So
yeah.
So is the Jack Iman table book still there? Or has it gotten stolen yet?
It hasn't been taken yet, so that's a good start.
All right, we'll have to keep sending him photos of that one.
I know, trust me.
Yeah.
That was for Jack when he sits around and watches the Red Room at night. Well, he'll hear this story.
So I'd love to continue on for that for a second. So Sage, if you can talk about what you do for Airbnb, because there are people that are still operating like yourselves, like they're picking niche markets or niche sort of products for certain people. So what is it that you do with the Airbnbs?
With the design wise?
The design and staging.
General. So, we always, the design, that is a big process, right?
Yeah,
so
it is.
we'll randomly just get like a thought, like, we'll see maybe it's something specific to that house. Like, oh, this house, because of this characteristic, it would make sense to do this. Or sometimes, like, for instance, the train station, it's literally next to a train station. So how can we not make guests mad that it's next to a train station? Let's turn it into a train station so they know this is what the experience is. Right?
Super fun. Yeah.
So just things like that, like we'll find what works for that property, and then
so when the house is shaking, they're like, "This is so cool."
This is great. Yeah.
We're like, "Hey, we told you the train station."
I have it there. Like, your
choo choo.
So we'll do that, and I think the biggest thing is just fully committing, like fully, like no detail is too small.
Yeah.
It like the littlest weird things that you're just like, I don't want to spend the extra money putting like this one little unique light fixture. People love that. Like when every inch is really committed to whatever you're trying to get across, it goes the longest way. People just find it so fun. Like we've had so many people send us pictures of a specific kitchen faucet that we have. And it's funny because it's like $200 faucet. It's like a duck, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, look how cool! Where where did you find this? Like, you know, so just really committing to whatever design you decide and not like just dipping your toe in. Like, let's go all out. You know, we were so worried the first speakeasy that we ever did because we were like, let's paint it all black, ceilings, everything. You know, and we were like, oh my gosh, like we as design people, like painting the ceiling black, like what? It's gonna make it smaller. And then we did it, and it like crushed, and we started doing it, and people loved it. So it's just really just being like, this is a gamble, and we don't know if it's gonna work, but we just feel like it would, and just going for it.
And I remember on that specific property, I remember everybody that we told.
Oh yeah,
when we said we're painting the interior black, like even the painter was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And we're like, no, that's what we're doing.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. A painter, my parents, like a contractor, like other. We're like, yeah, that's what we're thinking. Everybody's like, you guys are literally insane. That is a huge mistake. Do not do that. And you know, sure enough, it ended up crushing. So, kind of like Sage is saying, like, you know, you have to try to sell out for that. And it's like, again, there's positives and there's negatives to doing that, right? Like, the positives are that if it does well, then it's going to crush, and that you're going to have a very unique property that nobody else has. But then the negatives is that if you sell out for that specific theme and it doesn't go well, woo, you're throwing some money back into that thing.
The one I was scared about was the Hobbit.
I was just about to mention the Hobbit house. Yeah.
I have never watched the Hobbit, like any of them.
What?
So,
okay.
Yeah, she's never watched any of the Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings,
like,
yeah. Well, the fact that she calls it the Hobbit.
I was like thinking more like, oh, we're gonna make it like, you know, Hobbit, like not the movie The Hobbit, like, you know, just like which we did, like the vines and the more like actual like Hobbity, not like posters and like pictures of this movie that I've never seen.
Gandalf the Grey.
And it's one of like our best Airbnbs right now.
Yeah.
Because it's like I never knew people. I'm like, I would never pay money to go. I'm sorry. Stay it off.
Wow.
I don't know the movie. So like I'm like, but yeah, I guess it has a very big fan base because people
So,
July had 0 nights available.
yeah, it's wild. So, you know, I was nervous about that one, but
I'm going to petition for Hobbity to become an adjective from now on. So we are going to use that in the Red Room and like make people like take a shot or something when you hear the word Hobbity. But yeah, I see that with other Airbnb owners too, where it's just like they have a Taylor Swift theme or a Bachelorette theme or something where it's like you commit to the bit and there's unicorns and installations of like the craziest things and people go feral over it. And I think, you know, I'm seeing that too in Scottsdale quite a bit with resorts and bars and restaurants. People want to have more of an experience.
Absolutely.
And that's bleeding into the residential space. And I am here for it. So it's no wonder to me that your business is taking off and just going to continue to grow.
Awesome.
Luke, send me the link for the Hobbit house so I can put it below. And then also, what's the best way to contact you? Just Luke or Sage, or who do we go to first?
Yeah, you can contact me. I run the Airbnbs and the staging business. So yeah, just either my Instagram, my phone number, email, whatever. I can share that too. So, but yeah, just reach out to me directly.
What's the Instagram? Well, that'll be a starting point, and then you
Sage Rotvold. It's super unique.
It's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And something that I will just say for any agents out there or flippers out there, just for a little, I'm going to toot this girl's horn real quick.
Oh.
But so she's probably done 15 stage jobs in the last few months, and I would say 10 of those 15, after she staged it, went under contract in the first week.
Well, let's not guarantee anything.
I'm just saying.
That's
I'm just
awesome.
saying, that's pretty cool, though.
Thank you.
But the proof is in the pudding. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Cool.
Well, we appreciate you pulling over to the side of the road and jumping on. Nice to see you, Sage.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We got Shay from IRA, Advantage IRA next week, talking about how to invest your IRA funds. So that's always a fun topic. She's been on once or twice before, but I always like to remind people that, like, hey, if you got $50,000, $100,000 sitting in an IRA and not doing much, you can flip houses with it. You can lend money. You know, all the different avenues are all available. So
Awesome.
I love it.
Well, thank
Well,
See
you.
you guys.
I hope you guys have a hobbity day.
Hey, absolutely. We can't wait.
I'm gonna make shirts for that and send it to you.
Bye.
All right, guys. We'll talk soon.
See ya.
See you on the next one.
We're going to go stage his house.